redefining co-working.
Exceptional offices for every business.
This summer, eSpaces expands with 2 premier locations.
Cool Springs at Corporate Center and Brentwood at City Park.
Explore the private offices, team suites, and fully equipped meeting rooms.
Opening July 2025.
Limited spaces are available.
Schedule your private tour now at espaces.com and be sure to check out all 15 locations at espaces.com.
That's espaces.com.
espaces.com.
You know, those early stages, you're like, you know, we got to burn through, we got to play as many songs as we can, and then because most of the time you're getting a 25 to 45 minute set, right? And you're just playing your heaters and get out, and then you get a 90. Like a year ago, I would have freaked out at a 90, right? I'm like, oh my God, that's so much talking, you know, like. But now it's like you just feel it's just room to breathe now. You know, by the time I got connected with you guys, it was almost too good to be true. You know, if you think about it from my perspective, I'm like, come on, dog.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Aldean's calling.
Right.
You didn't believe me.
I don't think I did at first, to be honest with you. I mean,
Most people don't. I mean,
that wasn't because of you. It was just because of the situation. You know, you're just like, man, I'm nervous already. You know, I was like, don't do this to me, bro. I cannot hit this bridge. You know, he's like, I got it. You know. So we're in the show, 20,000, 30,000 people, however many. There's a million out there, and I'm playing, trying to just stay locked in. And we get to the bridge, and Aldean does this number right here, and he's like, he does the head nod to me. I was like living all the way up to the bridge, dude. I mean, I was in the zone, and he did that to me, dude. And I dribbled a little bit. I dribbled, dude.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
Try that in a small town.
Jim, do you kind of have me?
It's really kind of fun.
I'm glad you're amused. All right, welcome back to the very festive Patriot Mobile Studios.
Yes.
This is looking good. We'll explain that in just a second.
Look at the balloons.
We got, of course, all of the usual suspects. We got Kalo behind this balloon. We got Thrash. We got TK over here.
And we got, hey, I like Kurt Fondue. Myself, I do. I like, not Kurt Mandu, I like Kurt Fondue.
When did you come up with that? That's pretty good.
It's like an overflowing, never stopping, never ending overflow
cheese.
of brilliance. Kurt Fondue.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Hey, let's introduce our guest. Jeez, enough. This guy is the
I don't think Kurt's on board.
I'm not. The pride of Silva, North Carolina.
That's right.
Great place.
Tully and I think that he single-handedly brought back the mustache.
He did.
And
I'll
he's
take
bogarted the charts for about the last month. He's got a couple number ones in the last month or so, including tonight.
Yes.
Welcome, John Morgan. Let's go.
Finally.
Come on.
Let's go.
Finally.
all right.
Love it. Thanks
So,
for having me.
right now, today, Whiskey Drink is the number one song in
I
the
got
country.
mine.
Written by
Written
Written by
by
John Morgan,
and
Tully Kennedy.
Tully
Yeah,
Kennedy,
that's right.
Kurt
Kurt
Allison,
Allison.
and John Edwards.
That's right.
cheers,
Hey.
So I guess we're going to toast early.
Number ones don't come
so.
along
Let's do it.
very often, boys.
No,
So
they don't.
right.
Unless you're
Cheers.
John Morgan. Then they come up.
That's true.
Let's do this.
Cheers.
That is good. But it is filling.
We are not sponsored
Whiskey
by
drinks.
any whiskey. But
Congrats,
I guess,
boys. I want to
trying.
congrats all three of you right now.
Thank you.
should I move this number one, or do we think we should just keep it right by me?
I don't know. It looks so good.
All right, let's put it over
It
here.
does look pretty good.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about it. We got Whiskey Drink, but just a few weeks ago, John, as an artist and a songwriter, had Friends Like That, number one song.
Yes.
Great
Dude,
song.
you're on a streak.
Good gracious.
He's on a tear.
We're trying, man. We're out here trying, doing the Lord's work.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Don't sound so excited.
You're doing a lot of things right.
Yeah, you can tell I'm just coming off the road. Can't you?
Dude, Warren.
Dude, it's been great, man. I was telling y'all, we've been doing a lot of fly dates, so those catch up to me a little quicker. But yeah, man, it's been so much fun. I think the funnest thing for me right now is like, we played $1 Million Cowboy last week up in Jackson Hole. I'd never been up there. I didn't
What's
know what to
that? What's
expect.
$1 Million Cowboy? Is it a book club? Big
Yeah.
club?
Yeah, it's a club up there in
yeah.
Jackson
like a
Hole.
new Gillies or something?
Yeah, it's
Just old school kind of country, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a little hole in the wall, but
Strippers?
not at our show. I don't know. If or what,
Hey,
but,
beautiful place though.
oh yeah, man. We had such a great time. Dude, it was our first sold out headlining show. And it was just like I didn't even think about it until they came up and told us right before the show, and I was like, dude, it was just cool, you know.
So that's one of those shows, and we talk about that happening for us way back in 20 years ago. It's funny because I was going to ask you if you've had one yet, but that's going to be the show in 10 years. You go.
That's right.
That was when it kind of turned.
Does your brain get foggy sometimes? Like even when you're doing all the right things and you're eating clean, you're working out?
Absolutely. The scary thing is, though, it might not just be burnout. You could have parasites.
Ooh, yeah.
So this new groundbreaking research by Dr. Alan McDonald, he's discovered a direct link between parasitic infections.
Neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, guys, parasites can cause inflammation, long-term cognitive decline.
Nerve damage.
Right.
That's more reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year.
The wellness company has come up with a solution for everybody. Ivermectin plus mebendazole.
Now the gold standard parasite solution.
Right. It's combined in like a one cleanse combo.
It's all designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally.
And medical grade, not some like herbal gimmick.
Yeah.
So just fill out the quick intake form and you'll get a 3-month supply shipped straight to your door.
Maha is officially here, guys.
Make America healthy again.
Well, they're making hard to get medications digitally accessible.
So you can live your best life.
So just head to twc.health/smalltown and use the code smalltown to save $60.
You save $60 by using that code,
Yeah.
small town.
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
All orders.
No reason not to do it.
And this offer only applies to U.S. residents. Anybody can get it, but this special offer only for U.S. citizens.
Yeah, do it. Cleanse your body today.
dude, I mean, there's nothing like going out on stage knowing that you already sold the place out. I mean, dude, it was our best show to date, I think. Yeah. I told the guys when we got done, I was like, I don't know what just happened, but we had an encore. It was the first encore we've ever played, too.
Now, let me ask you this. How many times during the set are you playing Friends like that?
Right now, 1.5. We really milked that outro.
I mean, we bookended the show with Hicktown.
I love that.
I mean, started with it.
And we started with the 3.5 minute version that you hear on the radio.
Yeah, the radio cut.
But I think the ending version of it, that was 18 minutes because we needed to fill time. So you got band introductions. Yeah. And don't lose the low hanging fruit.
John's got these songs he's written. He gets to do.
That's a good point.
He gets to fill up the show, half the show, with the hits that he's written.
That's a great
Jason.
point, Neil.
Well, yeah, you got 3 or 4 number ones, right? With Aldean just before anything.
Who's counting, really?
Yeah. 3 to be exact, but nobody counts. No,
so you do.
True,
how long is your set? Is it an hour and a half, like at a club?
I think that set was like at 90.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't done a whole lot of those either. So that was, it's fun. At first, I feel like when you're building your show at those early stages, you're like, we got to burn through. We got to play as many songs as we can. And then, because most of the time you're getting a 25 to 45 minute set, right? And you're just playing your heaters and get out. And then you get a 90, like a year ago, I would have freaked out at a 90, right? I'm like, oh my God, that's so much talking, but now it's like, you just feel it's just room to breathe now. You feel like we got the songs. We've been learning a lot of the new material and stuff. So it's fun to just like be able to slow roll through a show. Yeah. And
how many shows are you doing this year? This summer?
Dude, I don't even know, man. I don't.
That's how you know it's a lot.
I don't look past next week, to be honest with you.
You haven't actually looked at the schedule to see?
Not in depth, no. I
love it. Show up and sing. Freaking love it.
You got to sometimes, man. I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. We've definitely been busy. It's been my busiest year yet. I can say that for sure. So, a lot of good things, man. A lot of good things. This is one of them.
Yeah, dude, you're busy. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Neil, sure. I'm gonna deflect for a second.
What?
You got your golf garb on, man.
Oh, yeah. I just got back.
I mean, you literally
Notice the VIP on above the parkings. Yeah. Anyway. There you go.
What's the handicap got to be to get that? Yeah.
No, I just came in here on two wheels. I thought I was going to be late, but John was late, so he's normal. He's like
you can
Kalo
count on
now.
that most times.
Yeah. You and Kalo.
Yeah.
Ooh, count on it. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I played in a golf tournament today for Tunnel to Towers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lee Greenwood was there. He sang God Bless USA. He sang the national anthem. We had a flyover from the 101st Airborne. It was amazing.
Did he golf too?
No.
No, he just gets does his 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, Lee didn't play golf, I don't think. But
thought he might go around
anyway,
the course.
that's why I was late. I would have left earlier if it had been, something else. But Tunnel to Towers,
Yeah.
I had to stick around.
That's a great call.
That's cool.
And finish out the whole round. And
How'd you shoot?
Yeah.
I played good today. I've been playing good lately, guys. So I don't know if you guys really want to,
No, Neil is scratch. He's
No, if you want to
I
tag me
believe
on,
that.
No, we're supposed to do a golf tournament. Let's get John up to date here.
yeah.
Aldean's supposed to play with us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cletus D. Judd's supposed to play with us. We're going to go out as a sixum, and they want to take me on. That's fine. That's
It's 5
good.
of us against Neil.
Five
Wow.
against
And I'm
Well,
useless.
no,
No,
I
I
mean,
think we're going
it's
to break
a-
up in threesomes, right? Like two.
Yeah, no,
two
I mean,
threesomes.
because Cletus is a pretty good player too. But they're gonna play. I'm playing really good right now. I'm just saying, guys. I'm playing really good. I got a new putter. It's really good. If y'all want to do it, and we need to have something on the line, but it's going to be a podcast. We're gonna have cameras with us. We're gonna show everybody what's going on. We're gonna when I slay these boys.
Exposed.
we're gonna-
Maybe that's it. I need my putter's broken. I need a new
Dude,
putter.
Neil's got 17 putters here.
You know what? As long as you look good, Tully, that's all that matters. 'Cause
Well,
we're gonna
we're
have
good
cameras.
there.
As long as you look good, wear your knickers, whatever the garb is you wear when you play golf.
Yeah, the
wear
little
it.
Irish hat and everything.
The only thing better than the knickers is when I walk in, people are like super pumped about my knickers, and the old ladies are flipping out. Then they cause quite a stir. But then I go tee off, and the look of disappointment is amazing. It's like it's like oh shit.
I know this episode was about John Morgan, and it should be, and it's going to be. Do you play golf, John?
A little bit.
Oh, he's good.
Oh, really?
John's an athlete.
He's good.
He's a
Yeah.
natural
Oh, really?
athlete.
We'll take John on our team.
I'll slow down on the athlete.
Do you
but,
put your hair in a ponytail when you play?
no, man. Golf?
Yeah.
No, I let it. That's
Let
my
it
tunnel
fly.
vision, man. That's,
Oh, really?
That's my
No, it's
blinders.
part of the swing. Part of the. Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
I get it. I know it is, but I wanted to mention Tunnels to Towers today.
Absolutely.
About that.
Excellent.
It's the first golf tournament they've had in the state of Tennessee, and I was honored to be a part of it.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice work, Neil.
Anytime Lee Greenwood is there, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
it was
for it.
it was amazing. It was awesome.
Okay, so we were saying John's an athlete. He is. Maybe we'll get to the
Yeah, I thought we got over it.
no because we've been out golfing actually, and of course we had
that's right, we
pickleball
did.
matches.
Well, we've had some
Is that
pretty
Arizona?
heated pickleball matches.
So he's a
That is
pickleballer.
true. That is true.
well, John's just an athlete. So, but hey, let's go way back to athlete. You played ball in school, right? You
I
played baseball.
tried. Yeah, I tried. No, baseball was like first love. I loved baseball, and then when I got my freshman year of high school, our school program shut down, so I switched to basketball and just kind of fell in love with that. And it was a lot more fast paced, I guess. At the
Did
time.
Google tell me right that your dad switched you to be a right-hand thrower in baseball?
Oh, yeah.
Even
No
though
way.
you are a lefty?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
He wanted me to play short, so he taught me how to field right.
Because I know you're a lefty. You do everything left,
Yeah.
right? Except for throw a baseball.
Yeah, I do baseball. Football's left. Basketball's left. Golf's right. I mean, guitar's right because that's the guitar I
That
had to learn
pisses
on,
me off.
you know?
Really, that really pisses me off.
Well-
you can do both.
We didn't say I could do them good. I can do them both, but no, it just depends. It's just how I learned whatever sport it was. That's what I had. My guitar. My uncle had a right-handed guitar, so that's why I play guitar right-handed, just because that's what I had to learn on. I was not smart enough to turn it upside down and Jimi Hendrix it or anything.
Well, that's what dads do, though. I remember my son, he did everything left-handed, and then he started playing guitar, and I said, no. You have to play right-handed, and so you force that on your children. But John's, I got to take a second.
It's a tough world out there for lefties,
it is brutal.
man.
Your dad, John's dad, is a warrior. He is one of my favorite people. So when John was on the road with us, opening up the first time a couple years
21,
ago,
22, yeah.
They had this beat. Really, what was that? It was a little short kind of bus you converted
It
into.
wasn't even a Sprinter.
It was a short bus.
It was a short bus.
It was a short bus.
No, it was more of a church bus.
Yeah, church
More of a
bus.
church
And the thing
bus,
would, it broke down. It felt like between every show, these guys were rolling in, barely making sound check. Well, his dad was driving.
Yeah.
And his dad's an amazing man. So talk about pickleball. So every day at noon, we're out there playing pickleball, we're getting ready to. Here comes the church bus, Pearl.
Last minute.
And his dad's been driving all night, hops out of that thing, changes pickleball right to the court.
No brakes.
No break. Drove all night, 2 hours of pickleball.
Yeah.
And whooped
My
ass.
kind of people.
Yeah,
And he's-
I know the show you're specifically thinking of. It
Yeah.
was Corpus Christi.
Yes.
And we drove through the night. Dude, I had the last leg of that too, because I was like, I was driving, and it was, I think I started at like 5 or 6 a.m., something like that. So I'm like, drinking a Monster, like just hanging in there for dear life. And we're in Corpus Christi, so there's nothing. You're just on this road for 100 miles, right? And dude, we had one turn, and I blew by it, dude. I was just in the zone, and I blew by it, and there was I promise you, there was 25 miles before we could turn around. Oh. And I'm like, dude, I've never been more pissed in my life. That was probably the most angry I've ever been, because I'm like, dude, you couldn't turn around. There was nowhere to turn around, just a straight shot. I'm like, oh boy. But that's when we rolled in hot, and he was like, let's pickle.
I couldn't believe it. And he's a player. And his dad, you can tell, I knew right away the minute, I could tell he played tennis. Your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Played some serious tennis, and he was laying it on. I mean, it was like, okay, well, and he's got no sleep, and he's doing this. It's amazing.
Yeah, he was legit.
Those were great times. Let's go back to, how we met you, when we met you, which for us is like,
I can't wait for you guys to tell it, because I'm always the one that has to tell it. So
no. We need your story, but we'll fill in.
You like how I did that?
Nice work, John. Nice work.
It is, but it's what I love about this town, and how one little chance meeting and how everything gets intertwined.
Yeah.
God leaves things out there.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it short, but it's such a cool story. A friend of ours, John Edwards, who our co-writer with us, he sent us half a song one day. He goes, "Hey guys, me and Kurt, you guys want to come in and finish this thing with us?" And I said, "Well, who'd you write it with?" And this is, "Well, this guy I met, John Morgan." I'm like, "Okay, I'll listen to it." So I'm out walking. It was like, what year was it? Was it COVID? It was 2020 or something like that. So I put my phone in my ear and I listened to the song they started. I'm like, I immediately sent it to Kurt. I was like, listen to this song. There's something here. And Kurt goes, listen to the voice. And we're like, who is this guy? So I literally text John Edwards. I said, send me this guy's number now. I walked back, got on my porch, and I called him up.
Oh, you got it.
I got it, dude. And my, anyone who knows me, fairly aggressive personality every now and then. So
it's just like you get things done. That's all.
But I knew, but I tell you this though, we knew there's something here, and I called John. I'm like, man, I got a vision. How about you want to be in a duo? You want to be in a duo? You want to be?
Yeah.
Remember, I asked you to be in a duo.
I forgot about that.
Because I was like, I've had my mind set, and
it's been Tully's vision for a while to create a duo.
You're going to be in a duo, and it's so
like,
funny.
Sure, who's the other guy?
Well, it's so funny.
It's Tully.
Knowing each other now, and how how funny this is now. But anyway, I won't bore you with all that stuff. But we started that process.
I forgot about that.
But we started the process of like, John's like, man, if I was going to do a duo, I'd do it with this guy. I'm like, no, we'll work like that. We got to do this, and then we let some time. We started writing, and that kind of let the dust settle. And I remember we wrote a few songs, and they were all really cool. And he would sing them, and like, man, this is great. And kind of made some calls, and then we finished the original song, the first song that they'd sent, we actually finished it, and that's when I sent it to Aldean. I'm like, man, we have got to do something. And that was in the morning, like at 10:30 on a Sunday, and by 6, we had formed what is now Triple Play.
Yeah,
because it was just I love how that worked.
And Triple Play is the publishing company that we have with Jason. And Night Train Records, the label that Jason has, John is signed to. And
which I get nothing of.
No, you just get the
Call
name.
me.
But what an honor.
What an honor.
Right?
But what some people don't know, and we can finish telling that part of the story, but as Paul Harvey, you guys don't know who Paul Harvey, old-time radio
Dude,
guy.
come on,
He used to
really?
say, but the rest of the story, which is actually the more interesting part, is how you got to know John Edwards. And I know you're sick of telling the story.
No, I'm not.
But it is
Never.
incredible. So, foreshadow Tully's story.
Yeah, so it's fun. The duo thing I completely forgot about. We should revisit that maybe at some point.
Well,
I think it's working right now.
Yeah.
What was funny though, and you might have to edit this out, Jim, I don't know, but there's so many pieces of the story that get forgotten.
Yeah.
After the whole duo thing, I could tell, like, okay, well, he's not really into the duo thing because you told me you weren't really into the duo thing.
Yeah.
So, if I remember when we were writing songs, I remember telling you, okay, I'm going to set up a meeting at BMG.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to meet with whoever, and thinking, how can we get something going? We wrote a bunch of songs, and you would call me and you say, man, this is moving kind of fast. I remember having those conversations. Yeah. And what's funny about that is, like, had we just moved quickly with no purpose, none of this great stuff probably would have happened. It took, like, getting the right thing, getting Jason involved, the whole vision, like, really, really cool when you look back on it. And, if you're like us at all, we just, like, full steam ahead, never really stopped to look back.
Yeah.
But it's
me too.
The whole how it happened and you meeting John Edwards.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. It's I've been in a few different situations where it felt like there was an opportunity that was going to present itself, in the music industry, and I got burned a couple of times. So, by the time I, got connected with you guys, it was almost too good to be true. If you think about it from my perspective, I'm like, come on, dog. Yeah,
all of a sudden, Aldean's calling.
Right.
You didn't believe me.
I don't think I did at first, to be honest with you. I mean,
most people don't. I mean,
that wasn't because of you. It was just because of the situation. You're just like, man. But no, I don't know. I think you're right. It took time for us to, I think, get to know each other too. I think that's the kind of people we are in the long run. Anyway, is like you get to know somebody, and I didn't really. No, I was super green when I moved here, really green in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways that was good. It was beneficial. I think in the writing sense, man, it's like when I first started writing, with hit songwriters, which was pretty early on, thanks to you guys, it was just like, I could tell that what I was writing back in North Carolina, they weren't bad ideas. I just didn't know how to get them there. That was the coolest thing to me, was like seeing somebody turn that corner on a song and like hook it. And I was like, wow, that's cool. That's what I want to do. And so that was honestly my whole goal in moving. I knew if being an artist was going to be a thing, it would happen or it wouldn't. It would either happen or it wouldn't. And so I was trying to prepare for that, but also, like, I love writing songs. And so before I moved to Nashville, that's pretty much what I did. Me and Rob, my drummer, we would get my dad's shop, and it was funny because he had added on this section of his shop for, like, his, I guess it was his retirement plan to do woodworking. He had bought all these tools, moved them into this section of his shop, and had a nice little space, and he was still working his butt off. So one by one, I would slowly move each piece out, and just so he wouldn't notice. And he obviously noticed, but I would just move one piece out at a time, and I eventually, like, I put some flooring in there, treated it, and I turned it into my music room. And so me and Rob would, we would hang out and write, ideas there. A couple of my other buddies from back home. But that's when I caught the bug. I was like, man, this is fun. You know, you get to collab, and like I'd never collab with somebody. I was always writing ideas by myself, you know, and it's like I felt like I would never finish anything because I was like, man, it's just, there's something missing, you know? So it was fun to catch that bug. But to tie all that in with meeting Edwards, I moved to Nashville in 2020, pursuit of a pub deal. I want to write songs. And so when I moved here, it was actually before I officially moved here. Actually, I think it was like late 2019. And I was making trips down to, you know, write with Rob and whoever I could write with at the time. Playing Belcourt taps every night, you know, wherever anybody have me. And, you know, started kind of getting established here. And, Rob was like, hey man, you've never seen downtown. Let's go downtown. We'll find a place to eat or do something. I'll show you around. So we called an Uber, and we're, you know, riding downtown, and this guy starts chatting with us, you know, and I'm like, this is a cool guy. And, you know, Edwards, he's just a nice guy. You know, you meet him, you're like, I like this guy. And, you know, he starts talking about, you know, being in town for a while, and he was just kind of doing that on the side. And, you know, he's like, you know, I'm you know, writing a few songs. He told us some songs he had written, and we were like, you know, this is awesome. And so for whatever reason, I was, you know, I guess just hungry or something, but I was just like, all right, cool, man. Nice to meet you. See you. Never.
Well, you might not have believed him. It's an Uber driver.
Yeah,
if an Uber driver saying that to me, I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. I was like, cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the ride, you know. And
you know what's funny about that with Edwards? And Edwards, we go so far back with Edwards, over 20 years.
Actually, I remember when he said he was driving Uber.
Well, so
anyway.
So we've known him. We've gotten the day we were playing on his demos and writing songs with him. And
Have I ever met John Edwards?
John is.
I don't know if
I don't think I know.
He's like our little secret weapon.
Yeah.
And great guy.
Where do you keep him? Where is he?
We keep him in different parts of town. What's funny about this story?
you can't keep that man anywhere. I promise. He's gonna do it.
He never told me and Kurt that he was driving Uber.
Yeah.
So when this story came out, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? What did they concoct? Because John told me he met you at Lucky Jeans.
Well, this is the end of the story. You don't know the end of the story.
But he didn't. No, I know.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
But he met you driving Uber.
Yeah.
But
that was our initial. The first time we met, right? And so he drops me and Rob off to eat. I don't even remember where we went, but I was like, appreciate it, man. Cool, good to meet you. You know, didn't think anything of it. Went about my way, went to eat, you know, I think, so yeah, that was late 2019. So when I officially moved a year later, fast forward a year from that, I moved to town in 2020. I had a part-time gig working at Lucky Brand Jeans over at Opry Mills, if you can imagine that.
I would have bought some jeans from you.
Yeah, you would.
No doubt. With you and your mask.
No, I don't think John was wearing a mask.
I was definitely not in a mask. You definitely, well, you might not have recognized me. I was a young lad back then. But no, man, I was working, and yeah, I typically I was stocking shelves. That's what when they gave me the job, they were like, yeah, you just be in the back stocking shelves. I'm like, perfect. Give me some headphones. I'll be good. I'll get you dialed in. And so, but they got shorthanded. We had a few people leave. And so I ended up, you know, working the floor. And so, you like how I said that, didn't you? Yeah, I was working the floor, and, you know, this dude walks in one day, and I'm like, man, I know this guy. You know, I just recognized his face. So I went up to him, started talking, and it was Edwards. It was my Uber driver from a year earlier, and he was just like in there shopping, I guess. I don't know what he was, you know, who knows with him. But we kind of reconnected, and he was like, man, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm I was
working the floor.
Yeah, I was working the floor. You're looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, you know, but I sent him some demos that I'd been working on. I had a little setup in my bedroom over in Wedgwood, and I sent him a few songs I'd been writing and just, you know, demos I'd done. And he actually, you know Evers well. He left the store. I was like, cool, got his number, sent him some songs, went back to work. He left. About an hour later, he texted me, what time do you get off? And I'm like, I think I was closing that night. I was like, I'm late, man. Like, I'll be here till midnight or whatever. He was like, cool, I'll be back. I'll come meet you whenever you close. So shows back up after I get off, and we start hanging out. the weirdest part of it was that Rob, my drummer, he randomly, I hadn't texted him all day. He showed up at Opry Mills and came in the store right after Edwards had left. So Edwards comes, I meet him again, rekindle that friendship. He leaves. Rob comes in right after. I had no idea he was in the mall. He was like, "Hey man, what's up? I just figured I'd pop in since you were working." So anyway, long story short, we all meet back up. I was like, "Dude, you'll never believe who I ran into." I text him. And so we all meet back up. Edward shows us some stuff at his studio that, he'd been working on, and we just kind of chill for a little while and hang out, become, a little more acquainted with each other. And it was like probably the next week he was like, "Man, I'd love to, try to write something." And that's when we wrote Over You, Over Me, I believe was,
Well, it's funny because he never ever told me. I thought, he goes, I said, "Where'd you meet this guy that day when I called you?" He said, "I met him at Lucky." He never told me anything about driving Uber. And at all. So that when that story came out, I was like, "What are they making this whole thing up?"
Yeah, it was just all for the headlines.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
It's wild.
It's incredibly wild. And actually, we got to tell some other parts of that story when we come back. But let's do this. Let's take a break real quick. Let's get a word from the sponsors. We're here with John Morgan. We'll be right back. This is a Try That in a Small Town podcast.
We got VIP parking.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded.
Of course.
I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
You know what goes great with small town stories?
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit. Pretty good.
Hey, whiskey drink, I know it's been a while. And gotta talk to you, gotta catch you up on the hill I'm in right now. Yeah, whiskey drink, and now you won't believe the things I said, the way she left, the way the leaving all went down. It might take all night to get her off my mind. I need you one more time. Yeah, be a good friend. Come on, kick in, whiskey drink. Now I don't wanna think about who she's with, where she is, and how bad I miss her now. And come on, cigarette, yeah, smoke out that regret. And pour it straight and strong, make a memory gone before you let me leave. Come on, whiskey drink. Come on, whiskey drink. You want the second one or no?
Woo!
Keep rolling. You tell me, Jack. Tell me that you got my back. That you ran it with me till the bottle's empty, just like you always have. Come on, help me out. Just get me by. I'd rather be hung over than cold sober, still hung up on goodbye. So come on, whiskey drink. I don't wanna think about who she's with, or where she is, or how bad I miss her now. Come on, cigarette, yeah, smoke out that regret. And pour it straight and strong, make a memory gone before you let me leave. Come on, whiskey drink. Woo! Whoa, all night to get her off my mind. I need you one more time. Well, come on, whiskey drink. I don't wanna think about who she's with or where she is or how bad I miss her now. Come on, cigarette, yeah, smoke out that regret. Pour it straight and strong, make a memory gone before you let me leave. Oh, come on, whiskey drink. Whoa, yeah, come on, whiskey drink.
Number one.
Whoa,
right now.
Come on, whiskey drink. Be a good friend, yeah. Be a good friend, yeah. Be a good friend, whiskey drink, yeah.
Nice.
You wanted the verse, chorus, you
Dude.
got the whole thing.
Hey, how could you possibly stop?
Number one right now this week.
It's
Neil?
4 chords, man. It's
Neil,
4
that was
chords.
impressive.
That's it.
The number one song in the nation.
That's right.
So y'all got to give us a story
In the
a little
world.
bit,
Dude,
right?
I'm
In
not.
the world.
I'm not selfish.
In the country world.
I like
you know?
everybody's music. I remember listening. I remember the first time because when I flipped through my phone and listened to new artists do stuff, you know, whenever they post things on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I remember the first time that I came across John Morgan. And I'm going, because normally I don't listen to the whole thing. I'm like, next. And I'm like, flip, next,
Skip,
flips, next.
skip.
My thumb's good at that. Flip, next. But when John comes up, I'm like, oh, God. And I'm like, boom, and I'll like watch the full story. Or whatever. And I'm like, this dude's solid. This dude's
That's
like,
funny, man.
no, really. It's like I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of
Thank
your
you,
voice.
man.
Well, you are
Yeah,
both
Thank you.
artists.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I feel like that end of the table might just explode.
Yeah. Talking about a duo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil's done that once.
He has.
Yeah.
Very famous
Once.
duo.
I did it once.
Thrasher Shabber.
It led me into writing songs full time.
Dude, you know what's funny? One of the first times we wrote, I remember, like, I think it was over Zoom. I think it was during COVID and all that, where I don't even remember who it was with.
Did Neil have a mask on through Zoom?
Negative. He
Neil
knows
did
I
not.
didn't have a mask
Neil
on.
did not.
Maybe a hockey mask.
He did leave at one point during the Zoom for about 25 minutes, and it made me wonder if I was still like on the chat or if I got like
Neil.
booted off or something. I was just like, I don't know.
That's
No.
on you.
Yeah. I figured.
It was nothing against you.
Dude, I get it. It was, that was a weird time.
I got to move. I got to walk around.
I'm the
When I
same
write,
way.
I got to get up and move.
Yeah.
If you don't see me on the screen, I'm just walking around. I'm putting or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just
I knew that. It was just funny because I'm like, I don't want to, because I didn't want to leave because I'm like, as soon as I leave, he'll come back. You know, I'll be like, but no, it was fun. But I remember getting the demo back, and I can't remember what, I know Freight Train was the one where I was like, dude,
Freight Train was one.
why? Why are you singing that high? Why? I'm like, dude, how do you even? The range, it blew my mind because I'm like, I'm even trying to sing like a low third to it, you know, like I'm like trying to sing a low third. I'm like, dude, there's no way. That
Neil's
was
got stupid range.
yeah.
I tell you what I love about writing with Neil. You'll sit there and you sit and you write, and there's lots of time. He gets quiet, which
Kalo
I'm
knows.
completely
Just ask
good with.
Kalo.
But when he does this, when he looks at you and he'll say something, and he'll be like,
What? What is that?
"That's what you do."
What's the point? What is that?
Or he just kind of
I
keeps
don't-
his
It
head down.
means don't
kinda like-
speak.
just
I
kinda
don't
like
point
this.
at people.
No, you don't. But then,
Which
But
is
then,
worse.
what's
the
the
point.
what's the
that-
hand? What is that?
that's what I see.
What?
You're me.
Oh, that's so
It's a
funny.
compliment. It means you're about to spew brilliance. Don't
yeah.
I
interrupt
love
me.
seeing the hand because
Yeah.
when it's like this,
You want to see the hand,
and
but
then
it's, in
shortly
the
after,
moment, it's abrasive.
shortly after that, this thread of melody and some great stuff comes out, and you're like, oh yeah,
That's why.
that's why you get the hand.
Yeah,
Here.
and the hand, it signals no matter what you're going to say, I've got something better. Don't say it.
True.
That's what it signals. That's the signal. And we all just wait for it.
So we're all wrong.
So then,
Wait a minute.
so then we start checking email, catching
Neil,
up on
this is a
texts and stuff.
Like
and
I
just wait.
said, we're waiting for the hand.
They're
we just
making
don't know
me
where
sound like
it's
an
going to come.
ass. Like a total ass.
Dude, you're a genius.
No, we're kind of
Absolute
kidding.
genius.
This is what I love. When I see this,
And sometimes there'll be a
there's that.
When I play golf with guys, they say that after I hit a good shot, I do this little dance. And I'm going, what are you talking
What
about?
is the dance? You don't know?
No, I have no idea what they're
black
talking
out.
about. Like I do this little step when I hit one perfect, and they're
a
like,
shimmy?
You do a little shimmy. Wait,
you know what it is?
We'll make
And they
sure
go,
Jim will
it's a
capture it.
shimmy, and I'm like, what are you talking? I do a shimmy. What do you mean? I got to see that on tape. What are you talking about? I don't do a shimmy.
Wait,
That's
is
so
it a
gay.
shimmy? What is it, Wade?
What's the correct term here?
Like a little two step or whatever. Like I hit it perfect. I'm going back to the cart. Good luck. Or whatever. And I'm like, what? I do
love
that?
it. I
That's so
actually
bad.
love it.
I got to work on it. I'm sorry.
No,
guys.
I
want to apologize.
Don't apologize for it.
I
That's
don't want to
amazing.
put the hand up to anyone.
The two-step feels like an off-the-tee move to me. You just hit an absolute bomb down
That's
the
a good
middle
point.
of the fairway.
Yeah, off the tee, two-step.
Yeah, a little two-step back to bend down and pick
Is it
your
like
tee up.
Tiger spinning the
Yeah, it's the equivalent. Yes.
Fist bump.
It spins the club. I don't want to do that.
John, what was the first cut that we got together? Was it "If I Didn't Love You"?
It was, yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
The first one that y'all wrote
Ever,
was
yeah.
Well, the first.
It wasn't the first one we wrote. It was the
first
first
one got recorded.
actual cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my first cut, man.
So at what point do you go, I mean, this is your first cut. It's like, do you realize the magnitude of what that cut is and means?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We tried to tell him. He still didn't grasp it.
1,000% tried to tell me.
Yeah.
No, I didn't realize. I didn't know it would be a career-changing song. You know what I mean? Because that's the song. It's like you were saying. Even in my set, I've got that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Anytime I can pull that out and people are singing that one back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's been such.
Do you tell the people that you wrote these songs when you do those?
Yeah, usually, like in our show, it has been. I try to break it down, like kind of towards the middle of our set. I'll break it down and do some acoustic, do some covers, do some old rock songs, and then do If I Didn't Love You. And I usually kind of tell, that bit, what I said earlier, like, I moved to town to write songs, and this was one of the ones that changed my life, changed my career, truthfully. Even though I didn't in the moment know it, but, now looking back, it was definitely, a pivotal moment, and also just ammo, and like I said, in my back pocket for when I am out there and nobody knows who the hell I am. Yeah. I play that, they're like, oh, they can associate something. You ever
tell them the story about how it came up? Like that was a night write.
Yeah.
Because it was a very panicky time.
You got to tell them the text, bro. That's my favorite.
Again, a long story, but the short of it is we were under the gun to try to come up with something, or we were going to get beat with something.
You guys were a day or two out from finishing the record too,
we were
right?
like 2 days out or so.
Did y'all know it was going to be a duo record?
No.
Well,
a duet?
We knew.
So here's the story. Go ahead.
We had written a song that was going to be a duet, and then the person that Jason wanted to do it with said, no, they don't want to do it. And then that sparked a whole thing of like, ooh, let's do a duet with a different song. And we didn't have a different song. So it said everyone in town was writing duets all of a sudden.
So you guys know how small this town is in
right.
Nashville. The bulletin is out. Aldean's looking for a duet song. So for 3 days, everybody's writing what could be a duet.
We went from having the duet song to no longer having it to everyone in town wanting to write it. And I'll never forget it. It was COVID, and we played a show at Bonnaroo. And Jason's manager was there. And he's like, do you guys have any other songs for duets? I'm like, Clarence. No. And we went home, got back from Bonnaroo, and I was laying in bed the next night, and I said, I am very upset. So I texted John and Lydia Vaughn, and who we've been writing a lot with at that point, these two, and I just texted a bunch of like little siren.
Did you get a text?
I knew that was coming. I know
this is kind of pre. Wait, this is kind of pre.
He actually waited longer than I thought he would. For that.
This is kind of pre Kalo though, really.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys.
But I texted.
Wasn't pre Nilo.
That's true.
Nilo.
No, but I texted a bunch of little sirens and like ambulance. And like,
yeah,
like
the ambulance emojis is what got me, man. I was like, all right, it's
I
game
said we should
time.
write tomorrow night, and it's a nighttime, and it's like we were doing a vocal that day producing, and it was like, hey, look, if we don't get something by 7:00, we'll just call it.
Yeah,
and we went in there to our little shack and wrote "If I Didn't Love You," and I love telling that story because you never know when you're going to write that.
We did the track that night, sang that night. We sent it off the next day.
Patrick mixed it the next morning.
That's how it happens. Aldean Knox heard it, said, yes, we got to cut this.
Yep.
Nice.
We have to lick our wounds, Caleb. That's how it happens.
But
though.
you're right. That is how it happens, and timing is everything.
No doubt.
And we got blessed that day.
I'll say this too, man. You guys will agree with me, I know. Had Lydia Vaughn not been in the room, that song never would have happened.
Not really. She's
not a chance. Tilly, I think you had the title, but having that viewpoint and that approach, just her another side of it, that was a game changer, I think, for like really fast tracking. Because I mean, I don't remember the last time we've written a song in a couple hours. You know what I mean? Usually it's we chip away at it and make sure it's good. But that one, I think just having her keeping the wheels rolling, man, it was a game changer.
And she sang the girl part on the demo, and Carrie pretty much copped her part, except for the high deal at the end.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it is.
Well, especially the second verse, because having the female perspective. Of okay, where we go, what.
What's a girl think?
we think we know.
Listen, I know this is a question we already have an answer to, but just reiterate.
I remember texting Aldean. We finished that. I said we just wrote it. We wrote it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah.
The weird thing was though, when we tracked it, we didn't have anyone to do it. There was no partner. There was no duet partner. So we just tracked it bare bones.
Yeah.
And remember Aldean goes, Clarence, I want to get Carrie on this. And he's like, glad you gonna. And it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Fun story though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely fun for me. Thank you guys.
I saw a picture of the night and I took it in the shack. I mean, you're singing the demo in our little shack of you singing it. Because
shack.
It felt like, the shack.
Gosh.
Everybody got sick after they left the shack, but it's okay.
Everybody
should have worn your mask.
Immune.
You guys would have loved the shack, man.
There were a few people who did.
No, I'm glad I missed the shack.
You would have loved it, actually.
Well, John, let's talk about your first number one. You had several number ones, but your first number one as an artist.
Yeah.
Friends Like That. Tell the story about that a little bit.
Please.
Yeah, it's another kind of situation. I feel like I've been so fortunate, man, and just timing. It's like you guys were talking about. Timing does go a long way, and I feel like, I wrote Friends with a couple of buddies of mine, Brandon Anderson, Will Bundy, and Lydia Vaughn, and I just remember, that song when we wrote it. It wasn't. I didn't think it would be a game changer. I didn't think it would be what it was. You know what I mean? It was just a song that I write with those guys a lot. So sometimes you get in a room and you don't necessarily, nobody has an idea they've been sitting on, right? And you just kind of, try to come up with something together. And that's kind of what happened. If I remember right, we were kind of on a different vibe. We started writing it more like heartfelt, I guess. And it was just like, it was too much because the lyrics depressing already, so can't have the music be depressing too. So we kind of got a verse chorus down. I think we kind of shifted gears and tried to put more lighthearted chords underneath of it to lighten it up. And I don't know, I just remember writing it and being like, man, this is fun. This would be sick in our live show. I loved it. I was out the gate. I wanted to cut it. But I just didn't, I never thought it would be the one, to put me on the map, so to say. And, I just remember, we had, I guess Friends, we put it out, I put it out by myself, and it was out to the streaming world, maybe 4 or 5 months, I think, at the time. And we'd all been talking about, writing something. Aldean had texted me and said, "Hey man, at some point I'd love to do some kind of collab," and I didn't really know what that meant, but I was like, cool, I'm like, whatever, yeah, sure, yeah, you just send me a 2 mix and I'll throw a vocal on it. But no, he was like, yeah, I'd love to do something. So, I think there were some that we wrote that I was like, man, this would be cool, or this would be cool. And I think, it just from what I remember, like the timing of it, when he texted me, there was a couple months I think passed after that, and Friends just started raising its hand on the in the streaming world. And I remember we were playing a show out in Minnesota, and I remember kind of waking up, like, getting ready for sound check, at 1 p.m. And, I'm like checking my phone. I look, check Spotify, and just had overnight, for whatever reason, a ton of organic streams hit Friends. And it just it went from like, 10K to like 100K or something crazy like that. And so I was just like, man, that's crazy. And so, long story short, I ended up, I think somebody, I can't remember whose idea it actually was, but somebody hit me up about, hey, would you be interested in, doing a collab? I feel like it might've been somebody from the label was like, this might be a good idea. And I hit Jason up and was just like, hey man, like, I know we were talking about, trying to find something. I was like, this song's kind of raising its hand right now. And it was funny because it's talking about friends. That's just, the subject of the song. And, I felt like it fit both of our worlds sonically too, a little bit. It kind of touched in both lanes with, just a driving song. So, he was all about it, and I didn't, I twisted his arm a little bit, but I didn't have to too much. Thankfully, he was like, yeah, let's do it. So it kind of worked out, man.
It was perfect. It was such a good song too, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
It was great. It's cool video. Kind of refreshed on it today.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it was really cool. And, Brent Anderson's a mutual friend. I've written a lot with him. Just love him.
Yeah, he's a freak of
he's a
talented dude.
Freaking
so
musically and everything.
Yeah.
But just a great guy. So I'm glad, because he produced, your album just dropped, right?
Yeah,
just
man.
a little bit ago, Carolina Blue.
Yeah. It's been out
with that
month or so, I guess now, and it's been fun, man. I just, there's a couple different things I could say, touch on, but I am super grateful, to have a label that even, lets me have any kind of say on the creative side of things, because, they could, most don't, from what I understand. And so that was a lot of fun, to have, a lot of input and just be on the ground floor of building these tracks. And, that's when I got found, when these guys found me, it was like, that's what I was doing anyway. I was in producer mode. I was about to sign a track guy deal with, another company, and it was just like, that's where it totally comes in.
Well, people don't realize though, John is like uber talented. He's not,
I know.
He's a great singer, but he's a great guitar player.
I know it.
He's a great producer in his own right. I mean,
What do you like more? You like writing more or performing more?
Man, right now
I was going to throw that question on you.
I know, but you'll get this though. You'll get this. I'm in the sweet spot right now in my career where
you're doing both.
I'm doing everything, man. I get to create. I get to bring a baby idea to life in a writing room with, some of the best in the world. And then I get to go in the studio, bring it to life, do whatever it is I do on it. And then you get to go out and play it live. And, even with friends, you hear people singing it back. It's cool.
There's a fan base out there for you that wants to hear you sing.
Yeah. I hope so.
No, there is. There is, because
thanks, man.
You sell it, and you're really good, and I'm a huge fan of your voice.
Thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you. I just love doing it, man. I love anything. My goal was to make a living doing music, whatever way that was. I knew production, doing tracks, whatever it may be, writing would get my foot in the door with better writers. If I was doing a track at the end of the day, if I could sing it, if I could play the instrument, like, you're going to get in better rooms. That was a good piece of advice I was told early on. And so I just went all in on it. And, you know, thankfully these guys found me before I got locked into a 10-year production deal.
You fell into it. You fell into a great group, you know, for sure. But you'd mentioned the track guy thing, which is kind of interesting because I think you and I had written maybe twice, but the first time we wrote is with Jesse Alexander.
Yeah.
You know, amazingly talented, you know, incredible and everything. And so we're coming in there, we're writing with you. It's the first time I'd met you, but you were the track guy, you were the singer, and we used your idea. And you already had something going. I'm like,
and he played guitar.
Well, I'll do this all the time. This is fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's just part of. I don't know, man. I don't think I could write with. I mean, now I feel more confident in writing without having a crutch or like needing a guitar or whatever. I feel like I can hang, but. Yeah, it's. I definitely feel like I get my best stuff when I am at least on guitar and, you know, just noodling around, because I feel like I sing like I play guitar. You know what I mean? So sometimes that hearing a few notes that I wouldn't normally hear, you know, without a guitar, kind of makes me think differently melodically. Sometimes it just takes you in a different direction. So. I don't know, man. I just love doing it. That's the bottom line.
What did Aldean think of you covering the truth like you do?
Dude, you know,
I'm like, I heard the first time I heard you do the truth, I was like, oh shit, they need to put that out.
Yeah, man.
Him and Aldean need to put that out again. And this is I'm gonna give Brett James some love here. That is one of my favorite songs that he's ever. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Top 3 for me, man.
We didn't even do it in our set for a couple of years, and then John was opening for us, and we were talking about bringing John up, and like, hey, what do you want to do? And you're the one that brought up that song, right?
Yeah, Jason was like, hey, man, you know, he's never given me a run through of my life. He's just like, yeah, you're good. We got it. I'm like, cool, yeah, 20,000 people, cool, I'm there. But no, he was like, yeah, I want you to come up and do one with us. And he was like, what would you want to do if we brought you out? And I was like, well, you don't even have my favorite song on the set right now. I was just kind of joking. He was like, what is it? I was like, The Truth. And he's like, all right. So of course they just pull it, you know. I don't remember the last time you guys have probably played it, but played it to the record, so just to the freaking note, down to the downbeat. And
you do it so good.
Well, dude, you know what's funny is that was, speaking of your range, that was one of those songs that I've heard a million times, right? And I sing every damn word of it in the truck. You know, I'm ripping, right? And then it comes down to you to sing the bridge by yourself, and you realize how freaking high that song is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you don't. You don't
I don't know what you're talking about.
For me, and I remember telling him, like, because I think we had a couple run-throughs with it. It was like the first night of tour, I think we were out, and I remember telling him, you guys remember this too, I was like, dude, I cannot hit that bridge. You got to sing the bridge. And I was like, I can't hit it, man. I just, you know, I'm nervous already, you know. I was like, don't do this to me, bro. I cannot hit this bridge. You know, he's like, I got it, you know. So we're in the show, and I remember this vividly, dude. This is like a stark, like, piss yourself moment. And we're in the middle of the show, 20,000, 30,000 people, however many. There's a million out there. And I'm playing, you know, trying to just stay locked in. And we get to the bridge, and Aldean does this number right here, and he's like, he does the head nod to me. I was like living all the way up to the bridge, dude. I mean, I was in the zone, you know. And he did that to me, dude. And I'm not. I dribbled a little bit. I dribbled, dude. It free and as he did the head nod, and he went right into the mic. So it was just a split second of like just straight terror, you know. I'm like, there's no way I'm hitting that,
dude. It happens to all of us. Trust me.
You know, it was a great happy accident. It was. You remember a couple years ago, the label said we needed some content, right? And we had to. They said,
shocker.
Yeah, they needed content, and we're like, well, let's just do this. Remember, we said let's all just set up some amps and go to a rehearsal space and just play some music.
Yeah.
And they're like trying to, of course, what labels do, they're trying to reinvent the wheel, you know? Yeah. We're like, look, we're taking some road cases, some amps, we're going to sit down. Here's a bunch of guitars.
Little smoke.
Yeah, two lights. Anyway, we did The Truth, like Who's Rear View, a handful, Trouble with the Heartbreak, a couple others. And it's one of the coolest things on YouTube. They're all there.
Yeah.
And the truth like lit up.
Yeah.
Like that fun. Version of the truth. And it's just,
it's so good.
It's just 5 guys sitting around.
Yeah.
Playing and singing.
It's like a Guns N' Roses video.
It's really
fantastic.
It's one of the, and we literally went in there one day and did it. And it was like, of course we didn't rehearse for it.
I was going to say, did you guys get a run through?
No.
That was another time where I'm like, oh boy.
No, we just
literally show up. You know, not a single run through. Like I played the truth, you know, in the live full band setting, whatever. Not a single run through. I think we might have hit it once or twice before we went, but yeah, not singing, right? Not singing it down. And we get up there and they're like, all right, we're rolling. I'm like, all right. I hope I'm still singing the second verse because I didn't even ask, but here we go. But dude, it's so much fun. It's fun to do that every once in a while. Just get up there and see what happens, you know. Cause
now you've got that thing. It's like when somebody calls on you and you're not expecting it.
Yeah,
it's like just clench your butt cheeks together and go. It's like, all right, I'm on. Let's go.
Yeah,
and you deliver.
Yeah,
you have every time.
Yeah, well, somebody gives me a job. I'm like, all right, I gotta
go.
Up here.
It's time to go.
Yeah,
I gotta do it. I'm on.
Yeah, I would have definitely drilled that bridge to the wall.
But we did every night in that tour, and it was highlight.
Man. You know? Yeah, it's one of my favorite tour memories just to date, man. Just so much fun getting to get up there, especially with you guys too. You know, that makes it even funner when you know I get to get out there and you know just enjoy the moment. You know, because after the nerves kind of where I got nervous every time we did it, but you know, you get through a verse and you're like, all right, this is fun.
Yeah,
know?
right.
It's so cool. You know, I know Tully and I say this all the time and we talk about this. It's amazing that we get to do this for a living anyway. But when you get to do it with people you love, it's that much better.
Yeah.
And you know, went through a lot with John, and then to have him up there on stage with us, it was a very cool moment every night.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah,
I think people, you know, it's hard to realize as fans, like all the space in between these big events.
Yeah,
all this, you know, space, you know, meeting you and then writing the songs and then getting you to come out on tour and getting friends like that, like all the things that go on in between those big moments.
Yeah,
you know, that I like looking back on now.
Yeah,
you know, it's fun. You know, it's you get caught in the hamster wheel and it's hard to like. I'm trying to get better at looking back at those things, you know?
Yeah.
But it's important to. Like even these times with the band when you're right now, when you're, you know, all piled up together in bands. Yeah. But you look back on this and those will be the best times.
I know, man. You know? I know. You've told me that specifically a few other times. And I think it was one of the times you told me really hit home because I'm like, dude, I gotta remember to enjoy this while it's happening. Yeah, you know, like because you know you get in the Sprinter van, you know, you crawl into whatever it is, anything but a Prevost, and you know, and you're just like, man, like, you know, there are moments where you're like, God, dude, this sucks. Like you're 12 hours into an 18-hour trip, you know, and you're like, I cannot see any more of upstate New York. Like I can't. It just doesn't end, you know. And you get in those, you hit those moments, but you know, I feel like those are like you said, those are the rubber meets the road moments where you're like, is this really for me or not? You know, do I love this? Do I like being out here enough to do this? Because if you do, then you know, more power to you. And that's where I've been, man. I've been, you know, in that grind season of just like, I got to get it now. This wave only comes one time. You know, it only comes one time. You miss it, it's gone. It don't come back. You're not the new kid on the block twice. You know what I mean? Right. So I've just been trying to, you know, keep my nose to the grindstone and really take every opportunity, you know, and try to enjoy the moment because it is hard sometimes. I've got I mean, you guys know this too. It's like all the guys that are on the road with me are all my best friends too. So it's like that makes it fun, but also even more challenging because you're like there's always drama. There's always something going down. And you're like, come on, boys. Like,
and a lot of responsibility, and people don't realize that. I mean, you're responsible for these guys having work, and that falls all on you. That's a tough thing.
That's true. Yeah.
God has called you to be a lot of things, and in this business is one. But before we leave, I want to say this too, because you're such a good human being. You were also born to be a dad, and you're put on this earth to be a dad, and he is 3 times over now in the last.
Dad,
You have 3
quick.
Oh, bro.
3 kids under the age of 3. Is that right? 3 and under.
Dude, I don't waste my days off are well accounted for. Well accounted for. It's 3 under 3. It's a lot, man. But the same thing. If I didn't love it, I love being a dad. There's nothing more fulfilling than that. I don't think. It's just, especially when you do have the opportunity to do what you love and still have that at home. Like, I don't know how I looked into that, but that's where I'm at right now. And that's why when I do get tired, I'm like, dude, I have nothing to complain about. I have everything, that I could possibly have ever dreamed of, and on both ends of it. And so, it definitely makes it, challenging. Like I said, trying to be present. I think that's the key I've learned. And you guys, from many years of being on the road, it's like you don't have to necessarily be at everything, but when you are there, you got to be there. I've tried to really cut down on phone time, anything that's distracting me from being present. Because they're not gonna remember the times that I'm out playing shows, but they're gonna remember the times I'm there. Was I paying attention? Those are the things I try to remember. But dude, it's hard, man. It's hard to get off when you are in grind season too. You're always trying to you're always chatting with somebody. You're always on the phone. You're trying to work angles or whatever it may be. And so I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm so thankful for that piece of it too, because it's definitely kept me sane on the road in some ways. But it's definitely been a big driving. I've never had more to work for in my life. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun. I told them they got to book me some more shows because I cannot afford any more days off.
You got your head on straight, bro.
Yeah, thanks,
absolutely.
Man. You do. You're approaching it the right way.
Well, like I said, man, I think, truthfully, I think when it comes down to it, I would be happy doing whatever, worked out. If I'm writing songs for the next 10, 15, 20 years, that'd be great. If I'm on the road, that'd be great. I'm in that spot where I'm I'm putting 100% in every lane, and whichever one, like you said, God has for me and, wants me to take. That's kind of, I'm just trying to chase it all right now and see which ones dead end and which ones don't, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, you're doing an amazing job at it, and you're one of the only artists actually that is succeeding as an artist and still having hits, not just cuts on other artists, but number 1 hits. And so let's kind of end where we started with "Whiskey Drink" being the number 1 song in the nation right now.
You want us to play it again?
Just play it one more time. But a lot of things. But besides it being a great song and a great artist, a lot of timing and record labels, time and promotion, all that stuff. It's a little bit of luck sometimes and hard work to get to number 1. There's a lot, a lot of difference between a number 2 and a number 1.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers and a plaque is one of them. But number 1 are just really cool. So for all the the long bus rides and all the stuff, and a lot of songs that don't get recorded.
Yeah.
Number 1 feels amazing, and we'll just start. Let's start with Tully, then we'll go to Kurt.
I want to
congratulate.
We have to congratulate.
I
want to congratulate the 3 of you guys.
We want to, supremely congratulate you.
Jeez, that's very nice.
Having a number 1.
Absolutely,
it's huge and it feels impossible. But when it happens, it's
rare,
an amazing feeling. And everything. So I just want to know,
live it up.
Tully, what are you feeling right now about having the number 1 song in the nation, "Whiskey Drink" by Jason Aldean, and go?
Well, I mean, I think what I'm learning and trying to be better at is really appreciating the moment instead of worrying so much about trying to do it again.
Yeah.
Which is hard because it's like you said, you have families, responsibilities, and you want to keep things going well.
Yeah.
But I got to stop and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which is trying to get better at, but my OCD and I'm just some.
Well, we're wired the same in that sense, man. I'm always, what's next? How are we going to follow it up? and you gotta
enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a fine line between getting greedy and enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
there's a fine line right there.
But do people like
100%
us, if you're driven and you're competitive and you have that in you, do any of us actually enjoy the moment? And this is sad to say, but you just probably don't. Because
we do, but when you say the word moment, it is a moment.
But I'm telling you, we're talking about it right now. We had a shot.
I know.
But I'm honestly probably not celebrating it like I should.
Yeah.
Well, you're driven, and
but we all are.
Yeah, that's the key word. We're driven, and it was like, thank you. Now, what's next?
I'm pretty stressed out actually about what's next. I'm going to go. You know what? Kurt, you're right. I'm really not enjoying it. I'm trying to lie for the podcast sake, but I'm really amped up about what's coming.
I'm very stressed about what's coming.
Look here,
I'm really not enjoying it at all.
If you guys stop, if you stop for 2 seconds and think about the percentage.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
And
you are right,
and how blessed and fortunate you are.
You are right. I know you're right.
It really is.
But,
I mean, you have to stop for like.
I know you're right,
and don't not just for right now, but even tomorrow.
You know what, dude? This is straight up, man. I feel like I've celebrated these like writing successes, like especially Whiskey Drink, man. I feel like I celebrated it early, just out of pure schedule. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not because of the number, but just because I mean, dude, I have a song on the charts. Yeah. That by itself, especially in the top 10, top 5, it's hard to do.
That's
man.
right.
Like,
That's hard.
Just and so from doing, like I said, I've been doing a lot of
was
flight
hard to
dates,
get you here.
Yeah, a lot of isolated time. Yeah. Southwest doesn't always have Wi-Fi, so a lot of times I'm sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, thinking about stuff. But yeah, I feel like I was just like, man, I was able to do that with friends and Whiskey Drink, and then when it actually happened, I was already like, not past it, but like, I was already in appreciation mode. Like, it wasn't like, wow, it hit me all at once. I think that's the thing for me. I've just appreciated, being in the game, because it is hard. It's the percentages are very low.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun, but I agree with you. It's hard to appreciate it all at once in the moment,
I think it's a stage of life too. If you I got son going to college and daughter's going, so it's like, okay, there's
a lot going on.
So it's like, I need, what's next? This is great. And you're right. It's not a great way to think. I'm very stressed out. Yeah. It's going to be what it is, guys. I'm not going to get less stressed. So,
well, that's really good. I think we need Kurt to enjoy it a little more.
Yeah.
I want Kurt to enjoy it a little more.
Kurt?
Yeah.
Yep.
My wife would tell you the same thing.
Kurt Fondue. Yep.
Now you just pissed him off.
I actually love it.
He's not about it.
Neil, I actually love that. I think it's fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Now he's on. No worries.
Fondue. I don't have anything else. We better end this.
All right. We got to let John get going.
All right. Yeah, John, actually,
off to rehearsal.
We've kept you too late.
Hey, you know what? No, they need this. They need this. Let's see what they do by the time I get there.
No, John, you need this.
Thanks, Neil. You know what? You're right. I do need this.
I do need this.
You need this.
We're very appreciative of John. He's he is our friend, but he is a solid human being. We're proud to know you. We're proud that you came here and spent your time, very busy time, with us. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you guys, man. This has been one of the fun ones. A lot of times you never know what you're getting.
By the way, you're all over the podcast world, dude. I'm seeing you everywhere.
Yeah.
I wish you would have saved it all for us,
dude. I would have. Trust me. If it would have been my choice, I would have.
No, it was cool. It's actually been fun seeing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We want to thank John. We want to thank our sponsors. We got. Who all we got? Let's remind me. We got the Wellness Company. We're working with them.
Mobile.
Patriot Mobile, the OG beer.
Wellness Company.
It's
everybody.
We've been
E-Spaces.
E-Spaces.
Yep.
It's been really
.com.
That's pretty
so good.
Thank you.
These are the Patriot Mobile Studios, or this is the Patriot Mobile Studios. We've got our balloons somewhere. We're going to get back in.
We'll get those back.
Congrats on the #1, boys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
guys.
John Morgan,
Congrats.
thank you, buddy.
Thanks
This
for
is a
having
Try
me,
That
man.
in a
It's
Small
been a
Town
lot of fun.
podcast.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.